Imagine you're standing on a battlefield, biggest war of your life. You have a charioteer by your side, who's widely believed to be an avatar of God himself. In front of you stands the largest army that you've ever witnessed. And the fate of everything you believe hangs in the balance. But at that moment, you hesitate. This was the moment that began the telling of the Bhagavad Gita in a battlefield where a warrior found himself anxious and lost. A framework that solves almost every problem that we categorize today as modern suffering. As you're watching this video, depression, loneliness, and existential emptiness are at epidemic levels across every culture, every country. But 7,000 years ago, this ancient conversation solved so many of the same mental struggles that destroy our modern lives. By the end of today's video, you're going to gain some of the clarity that Arjuna gained on that battlefield called Kurukshetra. This is a modern day retelling of some of the lessons from the Bhagavad Gita. Chapter 1. Anxiety.
असंशयम महाबाहो मनो दुर्निग्रहम चलम अभ्यासेन तु कौन्तेय वैराग्येन च गृह्यते. Lord Krishna says that it is indeed very difficult to control the mind, but through practice and detachment, it can be brought under control.
This is where it all began. Arjun stares across the battlefield. His chest tightens, his hands start shaking uncontrollably. Arjun looked at Krishna and said, "Oh Krishna, seeing my relatives and friends gathered on both sides, my limbs are giving way and my mouth is drying up. My bow, the Gandiv, is slipping from my hand. My skin is burning all over. I'm unable to stand steady and my mind is reeling." This might be you, when your brain won't quieten. Before a job interview or before a big presentation, before asking someone out, before being on stage for the first time. But here's what's actually happening. Your anxiety has not much to do with reality. Maybe your anxiety is your uncontrolled mind hijacking the present, and maybe it's dragging you into imaginary futures. The Harvard Medical School recently found that 8 weeks of meditation practice can physically change your brain structure. They found increased gray matter in the hippocampus, the learning and memory center, and decreased gray matter in the amygdala, your brain's fear center. Here's some actionable steps that you can take in order to help calm your anxiety over time. All of it is backed by neuroscience. Firstly, mind training. 10 minutes of daily breath-based meditation. Train your attention to return when it wanders into anxiety-inducing stories. When anxiety hits, focus intensely on one body part, like your feet touching the ground. This may pull you out of a mental spiral and place you in the present. Next, a progressive scan. Start from your toes and slowly move your attention up your body, noticing each part. This practice can interrupt your anxiety loop by redirecting your focus. When you finally quieten the noise in your head, you'll face reality. And reality contains one constant truth: change. Chapter 2. The Fear of Change.
Karmanyevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. Krishna says that we have the right to perform our duty, but we are not entitled to the fruits of our action.
Arjun stares at the battlefield in front of him. He's paralyzed, he's overwhelmed. Not by the fighting itself, but by what will come after the fighting. How do I live with the choices I'm about to make? What kind of person will I become? It may be better if they were to kill me unarmed, without me resisting, on this very battlefield that I'm supposed to fight on. This is you, standing at the crossroads of a major life transition. This is you when your relationship ends, when you lose your job, when you have to move cities, when life forces you into a transition that you weren't ready for. But here's what's really happening. We cling to the outcomes that we thought that we were controlling in the first place. So when change hits, it strips away the illusion that you ever controlled those same outcomes. And that terrifies you. Krishna told Arjuna that his job was simply related to the effort he put in. It was the universe's job to deliver the results that Arjuna wanted. Only the effort was in Arjuna's hands. Here's what neuroscience suggests. When you focus on controlling outcomes during change, your amygdala floods your system with cortisol, increasing your overall stress. When you focus on controlling your process, when you stay in the moment, your cortisol levels drop significantly. You enter a flow state with your tasks. Research shows that people who focus on process during transitions adapt 40% faster than those obsessing over outcomes. And here's how you can work with change. Firstly, try changing your action plan. Draw out 2 columns. What I can control and what I can't control. Your energy, ideally, should only be spent on that first column. If you're trying to find a new job, you only control your job search process and applying to that job. You can't control whether you'll get hired or not. You control how you show up in relationships, not the expectations that you have of your partner. Next, process goals. Set goals around effort, not your results. Instead of get the job, try something like apply to 5 companies this week. Next, daily adaptation practice. Small changes build change resilience. So try new things, a different route to work every day, a new coffee shop, new experiences, a different chair. Train your nervous system to accept change as a natural part of life. Change will happen whether you resist it or whether you flow with it. Your power lies in choosing how you respond to the changes that life throws at you. But that power can sometimes feel a little bit crippling. And this is where many people end up facing one of the biggest epidemics of modern times. Chapter 3. Loneliness.
Labhante Brahma Nirvanam Rishya Sheena Kalmashaha Chinna Dvaidha Yatatmanaha Sarva Bhuta Hiterataha. Those who are beyond the dualities that arise due to doubts, those who are free from sin, those who are always busy in the welfare work for others, and those whose mind is always engaged within are the ones who achieve liberation in the Supreme.
Arjuna sits in his chariot surrounded by thousands of soldiers, yet he's never felt more alone. The weight of decision making crushes him. His brothers depend on him, but he feels completely isolated in his struggle. He's drowning in his own thoughts, trapped in endless loops of worry and self-doubt. The burden feels too heavy to carry alone. Sounds familiar? 2 a.m. scrolling through everyone else's highlight reels while you're stuck in your own head. Your problems feel massive. Your struggles feel like something no one could possibly understand. The loneliness hits hardest when you're spiraling about your career, your future, your mistakes. The more you focus inward, the more isolated you feel. The world starts to feel very small. When you're completely absorbed in your problems, you disconnect from everyone around you. Your world shrinks to the size of your worries, and every conversation becomes about what you need, what you're struggling with, everything that's going wrong in your life. Here's what Krishna told Arjuna: be engaged in the welfare of all beings. Start focusing on the well-being of others. There's joy in giving. There's a feeling of community. You remember that you're a part of something bigger than your own struggles. And more importantly, you're not alone. There are people that share your pain, people who understand it, people who can support you. Research shows us that helping others releases oxytocin in your bloodstream and creates stronger social bonds as compared to any other activity. Volunteering reduces the odds of depression by 43%. People who serve others report that it's worth approximately $1,100 a year in terms of their happiness. Here's what you can do. Firstly, a daily service practice. One small act each day focused on someone else's well-being. Text an old friend, ask them how they are. Buy coffee for the person behind you. Give a genuine compliment to a random stranger. When you shift energy from taking to giving, connection happens naturally. There's also a reason that we started Taakat, a small effort to spread healing throughout India and hopefully eventually the world. Join us with our mission at Taakat. But for now, let's carry on with the video. Next, weekly contributions. Commit to one weekly activity that serves others as well-being. Volunteer at an organization, mentor someone, support a cause that you care about. Live for others, and you learn to live alone as well. The cure for loneliness is building your own community. Build an ecosystem of service where people feel included and nurtured. Be a source of light to the world and let it reflect back on your darkness. Chapter 4. The Existential Void.
Shreyan swadharmo vigunaha paradharmat swanutishtitat. It is better to engage in one's own duty, even though faultily, than to perform somebody else's duty perfectly.
You're born to play a certain role in this world. That's called your swadharma. Arjuna looks at everything that he's supposed to want. Arjuna proclaims, I desire neither victory, nor kingdom, nor pleasure. Of what avail is dominion to us, O Krishna? What is life itself? He's achieved everything society told him to achieve. He's the greatest archer alive. He has wealth, status, respect. But standing there, he feels empty. This happens to so many of us. You get the promotion that everyone said you should want, but you feel nothing. You buy the car, the house, the lifestyle that's supposed to make you happy, but the emptiness remains. The void isn't because life is meaningless. The void is being felt because you're living someone else's meaning. Krishna gave Arjuna the solution. It's better to fail at being yourself than to succeed at being someone else. The self-determination theory validates this completely. People motivated by their own internal values report 3 times higher life satisfaction than those chasing external rewards. When you're doing authentic work, your brain lights up differently than when you're performing for others. Here's how you find your way back to yourself. An energy audit. For 2 weeks, track the activities that give you energy versus those that drain your energy. The energy givers point towards your authentic self. The energy drainers reveal where you're betraying yourself. Pay attention to when you feel the most alive and when you feel the most dead on the inside. Next, a values hierarchy. List your top 5 core values, not what you inherited from your family or absorbed from your culture, but what genuinely matters to you. Rate your current life alignment with each value on a scale of 1 to 10. The gaps reveal where you're living life according to someone else's priorities. Next, a micro pivot strategy. One small change weekly towards authentic self-expression. Say no to one commitment that doesn't align with your values. Try one thing that you've always been curious about. Take one step towards what you actually want and not what you think you should want according to society. Stop trying to be successful at someone else's game. Start playing your own game. Your anxiety, your fear of change, your loneliness, your need for validation, your existential emptiness. They're all symptoms of the same war. The war between who you really are and who you think you should be. Most people try to fix these problems separately. They want techniques for anxiety, strategies for change, methods for connection, tips for confidence, formulas for purpose. But Krishna spoke about the deeper pattern. All of those struggles come from the same source. Losing connection with your authentic self and trying to find happiness in things outside of your control. Be grounded in who you are. Act from that place. Let go of needing specific outcomes. Pick one principle today. Just one. Apply it for 30 days. Track what changes. Your future self will thank you for watching this video. And remember, you already have everything that you need for clarity. You just need to stop looking for it in the wrong directions. Go within. Apply these tiny changes in your life and be open to receiving knowledge.